everyone, this is Mary, and thank you for joining me on another episode of Taking a Mary Break. And today I am so excited because I have an exceptional guest with me today that has had such a great journey. This is Payton Spencer. She is an actress and a producer, and I really just want to start, Payton, by why don't you tell everyone just a little bit about you for those that don't know, and we'll kind of go from there.
Yeah, I would love to. So I'm Payton Spencer. I'm an actress. I'm the oldest of 8 siblings, and that's a big part of my life. I love anything arts. I love singing, dancing, acting, of course, and really just anything arts.
I
Painting.
love that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I was doing a series on the arts, because Amarillo has such an extraordinary genre of different people that are so talented. And so when I thought of film and TV, I thought of you.
Oh, thank you.
And I will tell you, I do need to give a shout out to Cheryl Anderson from her model and talent agency, because she really got you started.
She did.
And so when she got you started, so you started as a kid, I know. Tell me what your passion was, what kind of drove you to want to do it, and kind of just take me on that journey.
So my parents have told me that when I was itty bitty, I would always point at the TV and say, I want to be on TV, I want to be on TV. And after saying it a million times to my parents, they were finally like, what do we do with this kid? I guess we'll put her in acting classes. And so that's how I met Cheryl. Cheryl immediately saw me, saw what my talent was, and just started pushing me, training me. I ended up going to Expo in Dallas, and that's where I met my manager, and that's where I got signed with Osborne Talent Agency.
Wonderful.
Yes, and it was really just shocking for my parents, because this agency, they also represented Dakota and Elle Fanning, Raven Simone.
Yeah.
And I'm just this little girl from Amarillo.
Right.
All of a sudden in LA, represented by this huge child's talent agency, and that's how I got started, and it was great. I loved every second of it.
Okay, and now I know like some of your big highlights, and I'm sure you can tell me more. You were in Joan of Arcadia, and you were in a short-lived series called What About Brian?
Yes.
Okay, I would be really interested, because this is where I go down the rabbit hole, man. I love it. I've got a theater background kind of too. I love the theater, and just that whole world, kind of how it works, how you felt, how the people were, kind of the process. Dive into that. I'm really...
So, on the set of Joan of Arcadia, we were actually on a location in the one, I think I was only on one episode of Joan of Arcadia, and we were in a hospital.
Okay.
And I was playing with this Barbie, and I didn't know what was going on with the other actors or what was happening with the scene, but we kept having to do the scene over and over and over and over again. And I was just playing with my Barbie, saying my lines every time, and Mary Steenburgen.
Yes.
She was in the scene with me, and
I
after
love her.
I know she is so sweet. She was so sweet. So after like the 30th take, and I'm probably 6 or 7, and after like the 30th take, she goes up to my dad, who was on set with me, and was like, how long has she been doing this? And my dad was like, this is her first thing. She was just shocked that a little kid was able to go in and out of the scene so many times, just over and over and over and over again. And as an adult, I mean, coming from Mary Steenburgen, I'm like, oh my gosh. But so that's kind of how my parents knew I was in my element.
Yes.
Because what little kid just sits there and says the same thing over and over and over and over again without being distracted and going and playing? But I just loved it. I loved it so much. I was completely in my element. So that was Joan of Arcadia. What About Brian is by far my absolute favorite project I've ever done.
I love it. So tell us about it and who you played. And
I was Geneva.
Yes.
And it was so funny. As a little kid, I would call my mom and dad on set, mom and dad in real life. So I didn't know the actors' names that I was working
That's
with.
so sweet.
I would just call them by their stage name all the time.
Oh my gosh, they loved you. I know they did. Oh my gosh.
It was a great cast. Everyone was so nice. It was just really the place that I've felt like I'm completely at home.
Oh, I
like
love that.
You're just completely free to do anything in this scene. I had a lot of freedom to add improv, and for a little kid, that's kind of big. Usually they tell you exactly what to do, where to go, but I had this natural inclination to do just normal things. Like if we were sitting down eating during the scene, I would take a bite. Like I didn't have to be directed to do that.
Yeah.
And so I kind of ran with that, and I was able to do improv quite often, and I really liked having that freedom. And looking back as an adult actress now, I'm like, that I want to get back to that.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. So tell me about producing.
Yeah, so I'm actually producing my first movie, and we are in the funding phase. So we're trying to find an investor, all that good stuff, maybe pitching to a couple studios, not really sure. But we're also always talking about casting, and it's really weird being on the other side of it because I am an actress, so I'm like, oh, so this is what happens behind closed doors, like behind the auditions and stuff like that. So it's really interesting to see the other side of it.
I bet it is.
I have a whole new respect for producers because it is hard.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah, some days I'm like, can I just go back to being an actress and showing up with my lines memorized? But I love the other side of it. It's great. It's a totally different ballgame.
I love it.
Yeah.
So if you could have your ideal, would you be producing and acting constantly, or would you want to take it to another level? What do you think your future holds?
My future, I definitely think holds acting for sure. I would love to continue producing.
Yes.
I love just working with people and being with people who have the same mindset.
Yes.
So really, my heart is in TV and film,
Of
acting.
course. Mm-hmm.
But I would love to produce as well. If an opportunity came up, I would absolutely grab it.
That's great. So do you have like any inspiring, can you think of like a time, as a kid, or I know you have done more things recently, that you'd like to talk about that maybe might inspire someone who is a novice or is new?
Yeah, I would say that because I stopped acting because my parents moved out of California when I was maybe 9 or 10, and so I had to, give up my dream, but it's always stayed with me. But making the transition from a child actor to an adult actor is really, really scary, because when you're a kid, the only character that you have to be is a kid.
Right. And the world sees you as that persona.
Right.
So will the audience grow with you? Exactly.
Right. And so I'm very thankful now that I did have this long break in my career, because I didn't have to go through like what other child stars went through. So I got to have a normal childhood, graduate, go to college, graduate, and then I was like, okay, well, I still love acting. Like my heart is still just calling for it.
Mm-hmm.
And so the hardest part is to start, I think. Just get involved in your film community, start taking acting classes.
I was going to say, yeah. So if someone either had a hiatus like you did, or just wanted to start a new career, what would you say, like from that point going forward, what would you say to help them in their journey, the best things they could do?
I would definitely say believe in yourself and trust your gut instinct, because if something is calling to you, chase it. And I mean, what's gonna happen? They're gonna say no. Okay.
That's the worst thing.
Yeah, and when you're an actor, 99% of the time you're told no anyways.
Well, you know, I heard an interesting story once about Stephen King, and about when he had first, before he made it with all his books, and he had gotten so many no rejections that he ended up wallpapering a whole room with no's until he got a yes.
Yeah.
So, and I always say the last no you got is one step closer to your yes. So never give up on the dream.
No, and it's really like, if you get down to it, if you're a person who likes numbers, one of my acting teachers told me that I think this statistic is 1 in 64 auditions you will book. So if you think about that, it makes the no's a bit easier, you know.
Absolutely.
But if you're not in the place where you're getting auditions, I would definitely say start an acting class, or even just get a monologue online, memorize it, record yourself, and then go over it and give notes to yourself. But when you look at your work, and this is something that I have struggled with, is being too judgmental with myself. So I would say my biggest piece of advice is, when you're watching your own work, watch from a third person point of view. Watch like you are the producer of whatever it is. Watch like you have no skin in the game, because then you can't judge yourself too harshly.
That's right. That's right.
Because you can sit there and pick yourself apart. It's so easy to do.
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, and that's where it comes in. You know, you want to make sure, just like in our community in Amarillo, which was a great starting point for you,
Yes.
is that it was a great starting point and a journey with everybody here now. You know, we have the Anderson Model and Talent Agency, so that's a great place to get your foot in the door, and they have the classes and can help you with the headshots and the resume and get all that. And then we have the Amarillo Film Society here, which is huge, and we have Amarillo Little Theater. So depending on if you wanted to go live or if you want to go film, there is a huge array of places that you can really just get involved in. And I highly recommend that if you're interested, definitely, no matter what your talent is, you know, reach out, because they're looking for dancers, they're looking for actors, they're looking for people that can sing, they're looking for people that might have an obscure talent, and maybe that one talent that you think, well, you know, I only do that in front of my sister and my brother, but it might be the one thing. It's like, you can do what? So,
Right,
you know,
right.
it might be something that they need. So it's amazing. But I just want to thank you so much
Of course.
for spending
Thank you
time
for
with me.
having
Payton, you're just a doll.
Oh,
I just
thank
love you to death.
you.
And I will tell you, Payton, one thing I say in every single episode that I think is so extremely important is to be kind.
Oh, right.
Because, guys, we've got to be kind. I always say this, always be kind, because you never know what anyone's going through. And in my tribe, we pay it forward. Girl, you're in my tribe. So, yeah. So, anyway.
Can I add to that?
I would love it.
Also be kind to yourself.
Oh, beautiful.
Because it's easy to not.
That's right. That's right. Everyone is worthy.
Yes.
Everyone is worthy. I love that. You're awesome. All right, guys. This has been just so much fun today. I hope you've enjoyed it. As always, this is Mary and
Payton Spencer.
And I want you guys to have an incredible day. As always, this is Mary, and I'm out.